203 of the Being in Sync 366 video series. And today I wanted to talk to you about chocolate beliefs. So, one thing I want to say is that the first thing when I come on here, I always want to tell you what my plan is for what I'm discussing, and then I will go into anybody that's on here and answer questions. But I don't want to be derailed by questions as I'm telling you, because I try to make these videos such that you get some actionable things that you can go and apply in your life and experiment with. And it's difficult to do that with the Q&A because people go off topic. So chocolate beliefs is, I really wanted to go a little bit deeper with this aspect, because when you are addressing beliefs, this is the matrix. The matrix of the mind is what, there are many matrices, but when people are referring to the matrix, it's always going to be part and parcel aligned with your beliefs, your belief systems. And these beliefs can lead you astray when there is a lack of critical thinking. And oftentimes people have beliefs that they were told from when they were little girls. This is a true story from somebody I spoke with today that had a belief about chocolate. And the belief is what I'm going to tell you now. They believed for the vast majority of their life that chocolate caused them to get eaten by mosquitoes, get mosquito bites, bug bites. So if they ate chocolate, they were going to get eaten by mosquitoes. And they had this belief all the way up until the 30s, until they said this to somebody, and in a conversation, she's like, well, you know, you get those mosquito bites because you eat chocolate. And she's telling this belief, this story of what she believes about how mosquito bites actually come to bite her because she eats chocolate. And the woman on the receiving end said, you understand that's not true, that's not actually how and why the bugs will bite you. So the story is that the belief about chocolate, if you eat chocolate, it will cause this to happen. So if she ate chocolate, she would get a bug bite. This is the universal law of cause and effect, right? Except that belief is false. So cause and effect does not work when it's in relationship to everything you believe is going to happen if it's based on a false belief. That's why it's so important for people to understand that what you believe does not make it true. It makes it a belief based on a false reality of what you think based on a belief that has gone unchallenged because there was a lacking of critical thinking. So this girl, she's telling me the story today, and I say to her, do you understand that you have more beliefs that are false? Like your own chocolate belief, the one that she was laughing, saying, I can't believe it. And she's like, called her mom, who told her that that's what happened, said, Mom, you told me that this is what happened, and I believed you. And here I am in my 30s, and I still believed you, and you lied to me. Her mother told her that because she wanted her to stop eating as much chocolate. And it didn't work, except that she created this false reality about what she believes to be true. So the same is true for many people who have many beliefs about many things. The belief could be about your worthiness. It could be about your self-esteem. It could be something as silly as what you believe, why mosquitoes bite you, what chocolate causes. Your beliefs about things must be challenged with what is called critical thinking. There is an epidemic and a lack of critical thinking that's gone on for far too long. It's happened in my family. It's happened in my husband's family. It happens in my friendship. People do not challenge lies and manipulation and untruths, and they believe them, and they make decisions based on their beliefs that are incorrect. So you want to look at what chocolate beliefs that you might have. This is your call to action, okay? But what beliefs about chocolate, and that's a symbolic, it's a metaphor, okay? It's a metaphor for what other beliefs that you might have that are irrational, not grounded in truth, need to be challenged. What beliefs do you have that need to be challenged? And look at them. They need to be acknowledged. And they need to be like honestly looked at, so you can like, is that really what I believe now? That's what I used to believe. That's what I believed 2 years ago. But what do I believe now? What do I believe about this person? And you want to do this about your parents, about your mother, and about your father. Maybe if they were single, maybe even about their marriage. What are your beliefs about marriage? What are your beliefs about relationships? What are your beliefs about school, education? What are your beliefs about your friendships? What are your beliefs about you? How have you believed things about yourself that are totally not grounded in the truth? So, for example, I believe and know in my heart of hearts in oneness. I have always known and had a deep understanding that we are all interconnected and that there is oneness that exists, that's so big, so vast, so amazing. And this oneness works off of these natural laws. I know that. It's not just a belief, it's a knowing that's within me. So now, what beliefs, I would say, that I would go to the next, what beliefs do I have that are not in alignment with what I know to be true within me? And then you start unraveling these false narratives, these false ideas, these false untruths, these false ideas about who you believe and what you believe to be true without challenging them. So you want to look for what chocolate beliefs you have about every aspect of your life. And it can be quite alarming to understand that the things that you believed were untrue. And obviously she thought she was stupid after she realized that she had this belief about chocolate that of course didn't make sense. Her mom knew it didn't make sense, but she said it, and so there it was true. But was it really true? No. So then now, is she silly? Is she stupid? No. She was lacking critical thinking. She was lacking critical thinking from the time that she was a child all the way through her adulthood. Now, of course, I didn't miss an opportunity to offer her an opportunity to go look at what other illogical beliefs might she be holding on to that don't make sense. You know, you don't want to take something so powerful as like this belief about chocolate and not use it to examine the rest of your life. Because if you were if you were being naive or ignorant, ignorance is not bliss. That is a lie too. It is not bliss. People say it, but it's not true. It's absolutely false. But this is why it must be challenged. And this is why I do challenges for myself all the time. I do many experiments within myself to challenge ideas, beliefs, thoughts. So I am totally aligned within. I don't want anything that I'm doing in my life to be out of alignment. I don't want to be misaligned with the law of one. I don't want to be misaligned with the natural laws in any way. That's why I look at these videos as an opportunity to be solid and share a different way of walking through life. Because I don't think there's a lot of us out there that are doing this. I do think there's a lot of people that would like to explore this, but they don't know how. And so this is just an opportunity to try it for yourself. Yeah, chocolate beliefs. challenge your beliefs, challenge those like illogical ways of thinking and believing. So I'm going to go and look and see if there's any questions. Um, and if there's questions, I'll be happy to answer. I think belief systems can be very challenging for people to go look at because people, they fight for what they believe. We see it in social media all the time. We fight for opinions that are like useless, waste of time. People invest lots of thought and time and energy into their beliefs that are illogical. So this isn't really about me fighting for beliefs, but it's really about you not fighting for your limitations. And that oftentimes your beliefs are your limitations. And and I don't want you to be limited, because when you are in alignment with the natural laws, you are expansive and you can really transform your entire life with this one exercise. Soldier Boy, hello. Hello from Italy. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, I'm just checking for questions. Somebody said I have a long face. I don't know. It's so interesting, all these people that talk about physical appearances. Good metaphor. I'm glad that you liked it. I do energy psychology, which is essentially how energy works in relationship to your soul. So getting in alignment with your soul, your divine self, your heart. That's what this is about. I am not a traditional psychologist by any means, although I find traditional psychology fascinating. It's more about behavior and which is a part of alignment, and thoughts, and which is also a part of alignment. But energy psychology is about really aligning with the truth of who you are and helping people to align back to their soul, their purpose for being here, their purpose for his life. Is it kind of what yoga does? Well, let's talk about yoga. And I think that's a great question. So thank you for asking that. Yoga has evolved into what is considered an exercise. But in traditional in traditional yogic traditions, I'm repeating myself. You know what I'm saying. In the traditional aspects of yoga, it was more of a meditative kriya, where you did a series of small, slight poses that shift to help you open up energy centers. That, at least here in Western United States, that there is very little of that going on here. Very little. In India, even, there are massive yoga centers and gurus all in India that are big gurus, and they teach people legitimate kriyas that are not exercise like everybody here in California is doing, or in the United States. They go to yoga not for meditation. They think that stretching is a part of it. That's not a kriya, in my opinion. This is my opinion. And I will say that I grew up with a mother in the United States, in California, single mother, making ends meet. And my mother taught yoga in our living room from as young as I could possibly remember, all the way up until I moved out of the house. My mother taught yoga, but she taught traditional breathing, pranic breathing. She didn't do yoga like the yoga studios here do. It just wasn't trendy, back in the day. But so does yoga teach energy of the soul? I don't even think yoga does that. I think there are elements and aspects that can lead you into alignment from yoga practices, but not from the ones that you see when people are going to hot yoga or doing an hour in the studio. That's not That's not a traditional Kriya, at least that I have come to know. Um, yeah, and I personally, I don't really enjoy a lot of yoga, to be honest with you. Hi, Jay. Good to see you here. Somebody said their mind is cracking. Belief systems and challenging your beliefs will make you feel like you're having some type of mental break. But I would offer that it might be a breakthrough, not a mental breakdown. And either or, as long as it's bringing you in alignment to the truth, that's um, a good day. Um, I think that that's you're speaking to how often people really hold on to beliefs, even beliefs about yoga, beliefs about exercise, beliefs about food. Um, a lot of the mental bondage that people have is locked and hooked into a lot of beliefs. But what also I will say energetically, when we have beliefs, we also have often not too far off, there's also agreements. Whether you've done it consciously or unconsciously, there are agreements for certain experiences. And a lot of those are not natural, meaning they're not in alignment to the natural laws. Yes, in India, there's a lot of yoga, and there's a lot of gurus in India. Staying off the grid. Yoga is like leaving all the world luxuries. Um, I just depends on how you're practicing yoga. Staying off the grid. I, I think that it's really important for people who understand that these chats are not always people behind them, because people who are in alignment with the natural laws, which is what we're here to talk about, people who are in alignment with the law of one, they know better than to speak any ill wills towards other people or to judge others by their physical appearance. When you're speaking about the soul, you're far bigger than what your body is expressing. So let's not get hung up on physical appearances here. Your grandfather. Well, so you grew up with somebody who taught yoga as well. Yeah, my mother was teaching yoga before it became trendy and before it was popular. Um, and I just remember these women. I couldn't go, I had to be quiet and I couldn't say anything, and I didn't really enjoy it. But everybody, this is the thing. You have to go with what you resonate with. And just because something's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't try something new. I've done different yoga trials, and I've tried breathing exercises, which I really enjoy. I've done Kriya I did Sadhguru's inner engineering program, and I did those Kriyas for 5 years, every day. Every single day, I was really committed to the practice, and it was a very solid practice. But it's not something I do anymore. I don't resonate with it. Doesn't mean it's not good. It just means that as you grow, you try new things and you evolve. Somebody said, I didn't see a question here. Please read my comments and reply to me. I did not see your question here. Jay, it's okay. Yoga is better than the gym. Yoga is a preference. You know, what's good for you might not be good for somebody else. You have to really resonate with what you're doing. But this really isn't about whether yoga is good or bad, because, you know, it's not about good or bad. It's about what are you in alignment with. Like, there's clearly some people on this chat who are in alignment with the natural laws and really want to learn and grow. And that's what this channel is about. So the call to action is really about challenging your beliefs that are illogical and not grounded in truth, of oneness, of alignment with the natural laws. So if you believe something like chocolate is going to cause these mosquitoes to bite me, that's lack of critical thinking, lack of studying. And why wouldn't you challenge that if you knew to challenge it? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you look and see if that's true or not? Maybe if you did some research. There's a lot of beliefs that people have been told that have been passed down from generation to generation that are just simply untrue and lies. And maybe your mother believed it to be true, but maybe your mother was misled. Maybe your mother was out of her mind. Maybe your mother was scared or insecure, whatever made her believe what she believes. But don't not challenge and use critical thinking when you are growing to be in alignment with one. You want to look, is this belief about this person align with the natural laws? No, it's not. Okay. Is it kind? No. Is it in alignment with who I believe I am becoming? No. Then that belief needs to be banished, right? Okay. Just going to report somebody. Okay. All right. If there's any questions about beliefs, I'm happy to stay on here for another minute or so and answer any questions. Oh, somebody asked, am I a motivational speaker? I have done a lot of speaking in the past. So you could go and see on YouTube, I have a reel, so you could see what my speaking looks like. I think motivation, maybe the word is inspiration. I really try to help people have an experience of themselves during every time I talk. That's why I give actionable items here for people to test out and experiment on their own. I don't want you to just believe me or to trust me because I say something. I want you to have your own experience so you can grow and evolve in alignment with your soul. Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to, okay. Somebody said I speak very well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Do you have any questions about beliefs that you find that you realize that they're true, meaning they're untrue? Right? Because the only real belief that matters is the one that's in alignment with one. So any other belief that's other than that is false. So when you notice that your beliefs that you've thought and held true, like you trusted these people over trusting your inner knowing, that's when you start to get bitter. And it's not about being bitter. It's about finding more and greater love for yourself every single day. Somebody asked, what is the meaning of our life? Well, that would depend on your purpose. And we all have what's called a unique soul signature. And that signature is about your purpose of this life. And the meaning is always going to go to how are you connected to the law of one? How are you connected to oneness? How are you connected to God, source energy, creator energy? And that meaning that you ascribe to things, people, situations, even life is always going to change depending on what level of consciousness you are accessing. So that's really important to understand, that the level of consciousness that you access determines the meaning. And I'll give you a perfect example of when I work with teams. In the past, I used to do like these scales of dysfunction for teams. And the data is just data. Like there's going to be numbers, and I'm going to put numbers to how high performing this team is. But the meaning of the numbers is always going to be left to the person who is doing the interpretation. Now, I often interpret those numbers for my clients so they can have a direction that is serving their highest good. But most often when people are looking at measures that are numerical, they don't align them with things that make them feel good. I don't know if that's human nature or human conditioning. However, as you said here, we're all going to die, but what you believe about dying is going to determine how you live. So I would offer you to look at your beliefs about death and dying and see if your beliefs about death and dying are aligned with the natural laws. Oh, hi, Dubai. Malik, I hope I'm saying it right. I'm good. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. All right. I don't see any other questions. Malik, do you have any questions? I am good, and I'm here in California. So I just want to say thank you all for being here. I'm Kiana Sage, and I guide people to peace. Peace is always going to be found within, as the inside, so the outside. The outside is always a reflection of what's going on inside. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow for more Being in Sync.